Hello, everyone, and welcome in. Thanks so much for joining in. And I wanted to go right to the light box because I have limited time today. And also, I just wanted to make sure I give you as much information in these videos as humanly possible. So thanks so much for joining in. Also, please just let one person know about my channel. I'm in a mad dash to 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year. And then once I get there, I probably won't ask for any more help. So welcome in and thank you so much for trusting me. You might ask yourself, oh, what are we talking about today? Are we going to discuss Jason's obsession with antiques and decorative arts? No, we're not going to. These were out on my desk for a show that I'm going to be doing, an antique show. And it's a very big one that deals with high-end decorative arts and very much so distinctive objects of virtue, if you will. This one is from Italy, and this one is from around the late 1950s into the 1960s. And yes, you are looking at a coral carving, the most beautiful and fantastic, absolutely stunning coral cameo of this beautiful woman with her quiver and arrows and crescent moon headpiece. Those little arrows are actually 14 karat yellow gold. And this, the line here on the bow is also 14 karat gold wire. So gorgeously done on a jade base. Just a sculpture, just a sculpture to sit and look pretty. And look, it's carved 360 degrees. It's just the skill that it takes to carve such things and the polish on the face. She's just so beautiful because she's not highly stylized. She looks like a real person. You know, it looks like, again, she could tell you a story if you listened close enough. This one, I'm taking a very large cross-section of my vanity boxes, my dresser accessories. I had focused on early 20th century items in my personal collection and also in the things that I resell. But this is cut crystal, sterling silver, and the most beautiful pink opalescent enamel, and absolutely stunning condition. And it looks like that radiant lines under the sea, as I've discussed before. Circa dating on these right at 1900, 1905, maybe 1910. So absolutely elegant, and that fine white line of enamel to finish that border. Again, the craft and skill that it took to cut that crystal, magnificent. And then this little deco statue, and I'll bring her back on because everyone's probably doing a cartwheel in their living rooms right now because this is one of the finest Art Deco bronze. Absolutely stunning carving on the face, and she is just wonderful. Her grace and her gesture of her really tiny little hands. So I just wanted to show you some of my decorative arts that I had out on my desk. Thank you for that little, oh, and then I had these two as well. Mother Nature's paperweight here, and a beautiful Abelman glass paperweight. And I thought those were so fantastic to have together on the table of my setup. All right, here we go. So Tanzanite. My love affair with colored stones has spanned my entire life. And I would say that I've always been seduced by color. I've been driven to things that sparkle. So when you combine the two, I can't help myself. The three stones you're seeing here today, I had to make a decision right before I put the camera on. I haven't done very many videos on specific stones just yet. So I figured I've got to get this done and I have to start somewhere. So thank you for allowing me to share my Tanzanite collection today. I have a lot of loose stones in Tanzanite, but I wanted to show you it more in depth in the way it's set in jewelry and made wearable for today's people that love jewelry. This one is a blue zircon. Blue zircon is one of my most favorite stones. It has the same scintillation and fire and dispersion as a diamond, and some people say even more so. That looks like a blue diamond. That just the sparkle and the dazzle. If I were able to take the lid off and really get into that, you would see a stone that is just absolutely magic. Zircon comes in so many different colors. I have it in pink. I have it in a reddish pink. I have it in like a purplish pink. I have it in a green color, kind of a golden yellow, if you will, like a champagne. Some lean more brown. And some are very clear. So zircon, we'll get into that in a future video. And I guess why I'm showing you these other pieces is these are coming videos, especially on the decorative arts aspect of what I'm able to do for all of you. I know that's kind of a long intro to talk about something else for 5 minutes, but that was my day today. This one that you're looking at is indicolite tourmaline. And indicolite tourmaline is, it's gotta be blue. Some people will say, they'll look at a tourmaline and they'll say that's indicolite, but it's far too green. This one has been certified as an indicolite tourmaline. It's almost 9 carats. It's almost 9 carats. And the depth of color there of that deep Caribbean blue and almost a teal green goes into like a turquoise color. This stone came to me by accident, and why I show some of these pieces, its backstory is very interesting. When I do my video on tourmaline, my love affair with tourmaline has been for over 25 years as well. And tourmaline is just a magical stone that, I think a lot of people don't give enough attention to. Tourmaline has been one of my favorites for a very long time, and I brought that on because it was also in the blue family of gemstones, and the very tip of it kind of goes a little bit green at the very, very tip. But at its core, those electric charges that run through the stone of that, so deep, true, absolute turquoise, teal, just beautiful scintillation in that stone. And it's very deep. That's a very large one. And price per carat on that continues to climb, and then you talk about, like Paraiba tourmaline, with copper bearing minerals, you get into some just absolutely insane prices these days. Now we're down to what the video is about, and we're 7 minutes in. So thank you for sticking with me, and please stay tuned because there's a whopper of a ring. Here, I'll give you a quick flyby. Stay tuned for this. You don't want to go anywhere. Whoa, what is that? Okay, stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. This is one of my unset Tanzanites, and why I bring this on is I could lecture you for probably 2 hours on Tanzanite. It was a relatively recent discovery, and they're kind of saying that the most recent, quote, the most recent finding Tanzanite was like 1967. I would say it's probably been found before that, and no one knew what it was, and just kind of, kicked that, greenish brown stone off to the side, and didn't think much of it. But Tanzanite is a bluish violet variety of the mineral zosite. So that gives you just a little bit of baseline information on what technically the mineral is. It's known to be a trichroic stone, meaning it has colors of a blue, sometimes a reddish overhue or a reddish brown. Sometimes you'll see those little secondary flashes there of that reddish color. And then, of course, you're seeing that strong violet. So look for blue, reddish overtones, and violet. And that's some of the world's best Tanzanite when you see that. It's usually or customarily cut in this shape, and there's a lot of reasons for that, which if you ask a stone cutter why, they'll explain it. Tanzanite is sometimes a very fragile stone, and my recommendation to everybody, there's just 2 things that I don't do for cleaning. I don't use an ultrasonic cleaner, and I personally do not use a steamer ever. I had a friend who was a gemologist, and she called me very upset the one day, and I said, "What's the matter?" And she said, "I'm just beside myself." And I said, "Why?" And she said, "I should have known better, but I used a steamer to clean a Tanzanite. And apparently inside the Tanzanite stone, there may have been some growth lines or some zones. And unfortunately, the stone did crack literally in half and fall apart. And it was a very expensive stone. I think it was probably around $3,000. So might I recommend you don't use an ultrasonic cleaner and you don't use a steamer on your jewelry. Very, 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 very tricky, very bad idea, to say the least. Now that I got that out of the way. Tanzanite is found in a very small area. As I look at my notes on the side here, it's found at the foot of Mount Kilimanjaro in northern Tanzania. And that is in East Africa. So what happened with a lot of the mining more recently is, yes, the government did get involved. When anything has to do with money or the growth of an economy, and that Tanzanite, I'm sorry, this Tanzanite is about, I think this is 4.75 carats. And that's another thing. Most Tanzanites used in jewelry are 5 carats and under. 5 carats and under, because of availability and because of color saturation and clarity. Tanzanite is heat treated as well. Most Tanzanite is heat treated. Let me move this into the box and let me zoom back out. And I knew I had homework to do. I did receive, let me zoom back in just a little bit because you could see the edge of my box and that drives me nuts. This I got in the mail, and I won't share what it says, but I've had a couple rough days, and I just want to tell all of you the letters of support that I get and the friendships that I've built on YouTube have really driven me forward, and your comments in the comment sections always push me forward. And even some of the negative ones, they show me that I'm doing something right, because when you're a bright light and you attract a lot of attention, sometimes it's not always positive, and I'm okay with that. I'm resolved with that. But this letter came in the mail, and you know who you are, and you know what you wrote in here, and I thank you so much for your generosity in friendship and also being a content creator, because I love your channel, and you know who you are, and thank you so much for the letter. It was very appreciated. From my memory, Tanzanite has been reported to be 1,000 times more rare than diamonds. I believe that to be true. I really think so. I would believe that as a statement. And like I said, Tanzanite is normally heat treated. When it comes out of the ground, it doesn't have this really rich and lush surface. When we see these necklaces, this basic construction, I'm not talking about the stones just yet, but when we see this construction in sterling silver, these are normally silver plated. So please be careful with this construction. This one's 100% genuine sterling silver, all soldered together, and you can tell by the color of the metal and the solder seams. Please be careful when you look at necklaces that are this way. Most of them are silver plated and basically junk metal. They will have stones that look real, and the stones are junk and garbage. The rings that were soldered together here, let's take a close look at the solder seams. Again, that's my advantage, and that's why you come back. I will show you the front, the back, the constructions, and the way the things are crafted. And I always said that's kind of my, what do I say? That's been my friend for a long time and prevented a lot of mistakes from happening. I didn't fall prey to the fakes. If I did, I only did it once, and then I remembered what it looked like, and I never did it again. If you get a fake, learn from it. Take your time and slow down, and follow your intuition. If it doesn't feel right, it probably isn't. But that construction, everybody that's a silversmith and everybody in the vintage world knows that that is solid sterling silver. Absolutely 100%. Now let's go in and look at the stones. So why I show you these is Tanzanite is heat treated to bake out that kind of brownish earth tones. They heat it and they treat it with heat to liven up that color and to bring out the blues and the violets. Look at these rough cut Tanzanite. Look at how gorgeous those are. You will start to see that secondary brown in some of those stones. Do you see how there's uneven color and zoning in the color? That's color zoning that I've talked about before. When you go to other channels and they talk about color zoning, they don't show you. See the color zone there? Darker on this side, lighter on this side. That's a natural Tanzanite. That is absolutely Tanzanite. Now we'll look at the finished cabochons. Look at the color play of a purple, violet, and blue. Stays very purple, almost in the family of amethyst color. And then that looks more sapphire. So it goes from a purplish blue to a violet, periwinkle, I don't know how else to describe the color, but I hope you're picking that up on camera of the internal color play, and I'm just lucky that I got this necklace. This piece is very important to me. I had seen these at the gem shows years and years and years ago. It's been several seasons since I've seen this style of necklace. They were very expensive at the shows, and normally they were only 1 row or 2 rows of stones and looked like that. Didn't have this drop down shape. This is the largest and finest I had ever seen. I loved the combination of this cobblestone of natural and then cabochon and polished. I liked the push and pull and the undulation of natural and high polished. Such an elegant and beautiful masterpiece of silver jewelry. Each stone is carefully bezel set so that artisan and silversmith had to go in, create these bezels, right? Pierce them out, open back, solder on the rings, and then figure out how this would flex and would be like fabric. That skill that it took from not only the stone cutters, but also the silversmith is really mind-boggling. This is a masterpiece of silver work and lapidary art, so it had both things going for it. The size, the design, the negative areas. I could discuss this again for probably 45 more minutes. You're probably tired of looking at it. This came from a very dear friend. Her name was Katie. And some of you may know, some of you may know about Katie, and I won't go there, but I will just say that this piece is very dear to my heart. It's something I'll never sell. And when I look at it, I get emotional because I remember her kindness and her light. And Katie, I know I can say this as I look up. I love you, sweetheart, and I miss you a lot. All right. Whoops. Wasn't supposed to do that. Tanzanite was believed to have been formed over 580 million years ago. 580 million years old for a gemstone. I'm in. It's ancient. It has energy and life and light. And let me just say this too, that there's a general consensus that only about 5% of Tanzanite is AAA grade. Okay, and that's what we're going to get into now is as I move out this incredible necklace that I never want to stop looking at into this box. And thank you for sticking with me. I appreciate it. Now, there are some things in here that don't belong because it wouldn't be. Let me get my paintbrush and kind of dust this out because it is a little bit dusty. So give me 1 second. I want to dust that out because I don't want anyone to say, you should get a lint roller. Well, you should get a filter. So, anyways, there's a little bit of dust still. So we'll kind of just go in here and clean that out. And I love this little brush. My mom gave me this. Well, she doesn't know she gave it to me, but she does now. It was acquired the last time I was there to see her. Let me turn the light down a little bit. Let me see if I can lock in and turn the light down just a little bit, because that's really flashing these out. Okay, so we'll get into specifics here, and then there's some things, like I said, that are in the tray we're not going to discuss today. But I will say that only about 5% are gem grade. Let's start with this one because it's the most simple. These are all set in platinum. So the only ones we're going to talk about is the central row right here. This is also a Tanzanite. This is in 18 karat gold. So that's also a Tanzanite and in 18 karat with diamond border. And it was like a contemporary engagement ring. I did buy that at a pawn shop because unfortunately, I think the engagement was called off. But yeah, that was never worn, but beautiful, beautiful Tanzanite. And I love the diamond mounting, and I thought that was fabulous. All right, we'll go into this. Now, I will discuss with you how much of a home run this whole row is, and also this one. They're all in platinum, and why I show you this is so you can really get in on what to look for gem grade Tanzanite, because all of this whole row is all AAA grade. So it's triple A grade, and like I said, only 5% of Tanzanite is that grade. All right. And when you think about the rarity of the stone being 1,000 times more rare than diamonds, you wouldn't expect to see stones this large being set in jewelry. And eventually, maybe we won't see that. Maybe in 50 years, this video will be viewed and they'll say, this man was a millionaire. This man had, he was a millionaire. This has that real strong reddish overtone with that deep purple. I hope you can see that color flash. I hope you can see that. This one's approximately, let me take a look here. That one's approximately almost 4 carats, almost, and it's in solid platinum. And why I show you this is for A-grade stones, price per carat varies, but for triple A grade, currently there has been a little decrease. So currently that stone would be between $200 and $300 a carat. So maybe that stone ranges between $900 and $1,200 just for the stone. For the platinum mounting, far more when you add a platinum mounting. All right. So now price per carat will escalate if you get above a 5-carat stone, and that's known in the trade. This is widely known information. Tanzanite is a soft stone, so please remember that. It's not made for everyday wear, and when you put it in a ring, that's a little tricky. It is a soft stone. It does have cleavage points, as I discussed earlier, so please don't use a steamer on these. Please don't. Some people might, and it's just not a good idea. Why would you spend thousands of dollars on something and then steam it and break it in half? Not a good idea. This is platinum. It's very well made, and that diamond border, those are VS2 diamonds. Very, very good color on those. And I loved the simplicity of that mounting and that deep velvety blue. This one doesn't have much purple in it. Now, some people will say that the highest gem grade doesn't have the purple flash. Well, I just don't like it when it doesn't read with that secondary purple color. You'll see a little hint of that in this stone. But you don't see much of that, at least dichroic color push of 2 colors, but sometimes you'll see a Tanzanite. I do own a Tanzanite brooch that I bought, and I'll bring that on eventually, but I haven't had it in my possession for quite a long time. This one's platinum and scrolled mounting. I love that double diamond baguette border, and then up the shoulders, those micro pave diamonds that so gracefully, and I think this one does have a scratch. Let's look carefully. I think one of these stones has a fairly large scratch. Carat-wise on this one, this is approximately, let me take a peek. Yeah, that one's like 2.85, almost 3 carats. And I love the color, though. So if you start to get seduced by that color like I did, buy yourself a Tanzanite. Treat yourself. I think prices will go up. So let's talk about current value as of today. So I do have a little bit of an inside track in regards to stones and diamonds, and I have a lot of people in the business that I talk with on a frequent level. This one stays very royal blue. See how some vary with that purple? Look how that looks like a sapphire. Looks like a gem grade sapphire. Nope, still Tanzanite. And look at that amazing small baguette border. And that one's also in platinum. Very thick metal on these, very robust. I always say, please look at the craft of your shank system. This always gets like thin and kind of very fragile in the the less expensive versions. Please make sure that your shank system is chunky and will last you a lifetime, so that you don't have to get ring reshanked. But look at that. I love this one. There's something so elegant about this one. And in the comments section, please tell me which of the 7 rings is your favorite. Please, let me know. I would love to know. All right, a little bit more information. I said that it's a soft stone. Technically, I don't want to get into the lecture series, but it's like a 6 or a 7 on the Mohs hardness scale. And that's not very tough. It is a softer stone. And again, the demand for Tanzanite on the global level has been slightly down. Now, my friend in the business, she's very smart, and she said over the last several months, they've noticed a 20 to 28 or almost 30% decrease in prices, decrease in value. Now, we heard, and I don't want to sound sarcastic or bitter or resentful, but we heard 8 to 10 years ago that the supply would only last 10 to 12 years. And now I was reading an article a few weeks ago, and it said proudly that the supply will only last 10 or 12 years. And I'm like, well, we were told that 8 years ago. We were told that, like breaking news 8 years ago, that the supply will run out in 10 to 12 years. And now I just read an article, very current, dated 2024, that said, we'll be out of Tanzanite in 10 to 12 years. It's like, make up your mind, It is a very rare gemstone and very desirable. Let's say this, if I didn't believe in it as an investment, would I have done that? Would I have done this? So this one is the largest and finest of this tray, and this one I think is, oh boy, this one's 12 carat, 12 point something, 12.5 or 12.7. The depth of this cushion cut stone in color and in physical nature. Look how deep that stone goes in this very large scrolled platinum mounting. The stones that surround it are extremely fine. The diamonds are very clean and very white. They wouldn't, always look at the way they frame a stone, and that'll kind of tell you of its importance. Why I show you these as well, you could get very lucky and walk into the thrift store, and this could be in a sterling silver tray because they may not understand the marking of 950 or 950 PLAT or IRID PLAT or 10% IRID PLAT, which all equate to platinum, by the way. So just be careful when you see these to take your time and just don't assume that that's a colored crystal. I would say that there's a very good chance that one of these would wind up in a tray at a thrift. And I wouldn't be surprised if in the next month of this video airing, someone reaches out in the comment section and says, you know what happened today? And I'll say, I pretty much called it a month ago. You found a Tanzanite, a gem grade Tanzanite with flawless diamonds in a sterling silver tray for like $9.99, This ring retail, I forgot some pricing. This one would probably be, I'm sorry, I forgot pricing, guys. I apologize. This one would probably be around, retails about 22 to 2400. This one relatively the same because the stone is slightly lighter, and then this one's probably around 2 to 3,000 as well. This one, because of how special the mounting is and also the size of the stone, this could range between, it's gonna be tough, 5 to 7,000, and I wouldn't be surprised if it go closer to 8 or 9,000. Do I think the value will go up? I do. There's something about the stone and its lush quality that, when people can't afford a sapphire this big. Now, if this is a blue sapphire, this would be, $250,000. So do the math on that and figure out why is Tanzanite so low. I don't have the explanation as to right now. This one, this one does have the scratch. Let's see if I could pick up the little scratch on this one. Let's see. See that scratch right there? See on the table of the stone? And then someone wants to steam that, Let's steam this ring. Well, let's have a stone that's cracked right down that scratch probably, or if there's an internal inclusion underneath one of the prongs and you steam it and the prong heats up, you'll have a chipped stone. Yeah, it'll happen. And someone will say, well, it's, it was, formed under pressure. Well, I was formed under pressure and I can still break. Oh, the things I come up with during live videos. This is about 1.5 carat halo border, double halo, or maybe that's a triple. I think there's actually 2 rows of micro pave right there. Absolutely gorgeous. And that stone, are you kidding me? So yeah, let me know which one your favorite is, both stone and ring design. I would love to know in the comments. And I'm within a minute of having to say goodbye for the day because I wanted this to be 30 minutes. I just did. And then we'll hurry on this one. I think I gave enough information on Tanzanite. I hope I did. I hope I didn't give a lecture series that nobody wanted. Some channels I go to for baseline information within a few minutes, I'm like, nope, I'm done. I just get the info I need and I'm on to something else. But I hope this kind of shows you the difference and the variation of color. also the way they facet the stones, and then how they finish it in jewelry. I guess I could have done a video on all the unset Tanzanite that I own, and I could show you, I should have brought out a little rough piece that shows the natural color. But if you want to see what Tanzanite looks like when it comes out of the ground, please go and look that up, because it's fascinating to see what it starts life as. And as I move this out, I promised you the grand finale, and this does take my breath away. I'll say this. This really, truly takes my breath away. And, yeah, I could talk about this for a half hour. It's the top gem grade Tanzanite that money can buy. There's no inclusions on the inside, or very little. It stays very royal blue with that purple secondary flash. And what do I say about the center stone? It's 13. Oh boy, I have the appraisal for it. It's 13.75 carats or 95 carats. I should know because I paid for every part of it. And the diamond border, those are like a VS2. They're very, very clean, and they're very white. And then in this gigantic, chunky, massive, ridiculously large, I think that's 14 karat. Let me take a look on the inside. I think why they did it in 14 is for strength. It is artist signed. And that's probably a really famous designer that I don't know about. And I would say, I don't care. I love the ring. It's 14 karat signed down in. And I don't do yellow gold ever. It just looks, to me, it looks ridiculous on me. Let me take off my ring. And I thank you all so much for staying until the end. But, as a gents ring, and as a powerhouse and an investment, I don't know. I just said to myself, I want the best that money could buy. And so I saved up, I saved up for quite a long time. And my friend Mike called me. I call him Big Mike. He called me and he said, hey, I got some stuff in from Florida. And I said, oh, well, what is it? Is it costume? Is it antiques? Is it jewelry? What is it? He's like, oh, I got this ring. It's a total Jason ring, and I thought, and that's exactly the way it sounds, And Mike, if you're watching this, I love you. Thank you for calling me all the time. And he called and he said, no, this is a Jason ring. This is a 1 in a million, and I've never seen anything like it. So I went over, and instantaneously I fell in love with it. And I didn't go home with it that day. I just told him, I said, Mike, I need to think about it. I don't wear yellow gold. I need to think about it. And then about, I don't know, maybe 3 days went by, and it really bothered me, and I asked Jeremy, I said, do you mind? And he said no. He's like, why would I mind? He said, go for it. So I'm so glad he did. So I know that the value on this one would be a 13.5 carat. You can do the math on all of the price per carat and all that, and be scientific about it. But the diamonds and the gold and the way it's put together, value on that would be right around $10,000. It would be like maybe it's $9,000, maybe it's $12,000. So you just say around $10,000, and that's what would be expected to be paid. On the other rings that I just showed you, and I forgot to tell you the story, they came in from a pawn shop. And I don't know if I should say any more than that. I was sent pictures of trays of jewelry. They were all laid out in a tray, and I was sent pictures, and I bought, let's see, I have 7 left. I bought 15. Yes, I bought 15, and I have 7 left, and the ones that I sold paid for all of those and then some. So all of the ones I just showed you of the 7, I don't have any money in. And I should have mentioned that as I looked at those, but they were, they didn't know what stones they were. They just sold them for platinum and diamonds, and they didn't care about the center stone. So please make sure that you check out pawn shops as well. Sometimes a very good way to buy, and sometimes not. You just have to be smart and agile and know what you're looking for. So that's it for today. I would like to thank all of you for joining in. I hope you thought this video was helpful. I hope it encourages you to take a look at Tanzanite. I promise you so many more videos on gemstones. And you know how I end this as I get close? Sometimes I don't want to shut the video off. I want to talk with you for a minute. So we will take these back, and I will look at these in the outro. And I will say that Can you imagine being able to have all 7 of those for free? And that's the way I've done my business, over the years. And I didn't quabble over price when the gentleman when he sent me the prices. I didn't, I just said, okay, I'll take them. So just a few quiet moments with that tray and then realizing, wow, look how much profit I could make. And I will. And that's why they're out. And those are the only ones that I have left. And then there's some sapphire jewelry too. This is an antique sapphire ring. We'll bring that back on. And then this one, I still haven't figured this one out, but we'll bring that one back on. I love this ring, 14 karat gold. We'll bring that one on. And then I should do a video on my antique pins as well. I need to do a video on that. Okay, so that's it. We're going to call it, and I'm going to say thank you again so much for joining in. You bless me with your presence and your love and your comments. Go forth today with kindness and love, and just do your best. Do your absolute best, because that's good enough for everyone. I love you so much. Goodbye.